Today on General Hospital, Leo is introduced to Eddie. Chase and Brooklyn admit their love for one another, and Gregory and Tracy end up in another argument. Chase brings Eddie home to the Quartermain mansion. Eddie explains Chase persuaded him to pay a visit. Brooklyn thanks Chase and Cody introduces himself as the guy who takes care of the horses. Eddie scoffs that of course a place this big would have horses. Olivia says this is his home, but he says it's not, and he's not staying. Olivia tells him then he can turn around and leave and walks into the living room and pours herself a drink. Eddie follows Olivia into the living room as do the others, and says if he's not wanted, he'll leave. Chase explains he brought Eddie because of Leo's accident, but Olivia says he'll only confuse him more. Eddie thought he could help, and Cody pulls Olivia aside to talk. Brooklyn asks Eddie to stay and talk to her. She offers him a drink, and he says he'll stay until that Tracy woman comes around. Brooklyn asks where Tracy is. Eddie says she's probably harassing someone else in Rice Plaza. Eddie fills them in on the sing-off Tracy ruined. Suddenly, Leo appears and says, "Dad, you're home." In the foyer, Cody thought Olivia wanted Ned here. She does, but he's Eddie, and she doesn't want Leo more upset than he already is. Cody says Eddie showed up as he cared about Leo's injury, so it's still a good sign. Olivia thought having Ned here could jog his memory, but she must put Leo first. Cody suggests Eddie take his room in the stables to keep him here, but separate from Leo. He can bunk with Sam and Dante. Olivia tells him he's a good man and hugs him. Olivia and Cody head back into the living room where Leo talks with Eddie and realizes he's not his father after quizzing him on sea life. Eddie says he's not his dad, so Leo asks who he is. Eddie introduces himself as a musician. Brooklyn and Chase leave, and Cody tells Olivia that he thinks Leo can handle this. Eddie realizes that Leo knows a lot as he talks to him about sea life. Leo says he loves all animals and asks what he likes. Eddie says he likes music. He grabs the guitar in the corner, which Leo says is his dad's. Eddie offers to give it back if he can play it. Eddie strums a few notes, and Leo says he can keep playing it until his dad gets back. Out front, Brooklyn thanks Chase for bringing her dad home and admits she didn't know if she'd see him after how they left things. He assumed kissing her goodbye was a clue. Chase tells Brooklyn that he knows he's a by-the-book guy on paper, but life is more complicated and messy, and that's okay. He says she is a leap before she looks kind of person, but he says she is gutsy and brave, which is why they make a good team. He doesn't want her to feel like he's constantly judging her because he loves her the way she is. She tells him, "I love you too, Mr. By the Book." They kiss and Brooklyn is ready to tell him everything about what she's been up to with her grandmother. He stops her and will trust her that she'll come to him if she's in real trouble. She thanks him again for bringing her dad home. Chase and Brooklyn return to the living room, and Olivia tells Leo it's time for him to go to bed. Leo asks Eddie if he's staying, but he explains he's staying at Sonny's. Leo runs off to bed, and Olivia invites Eddie to stay in Cody's place. He thanks her but says he's okay at Sonny's. Olivia thanks him for being kind to Leo. Eddie says he's a sweet kid, and he's not trying to hurt anyone, he just wants to live his life. Olivia says, "And I just want my husband back." Chase offers to take Eddie home. In Pine Valley, a cop, Lucy and Jackson find Felicia going through his confidential files in his office. Lucy is already cuffed, and Jackson wants Felicia arrested for breaking and entering and Lucy charged with straight-up fraud. Felicia suggests they talk this out, but Jackson says Lucy pushed him down the steps and stole his car keys to delay him so that Felicia could break into his safe. Lucy claims he tripped, and she took his keys because he had too much to drink. Jackson doesn't know why he's attracted to such fiery women and tells the cop to arrest Felicia. He puts the cuffs on her. Lucy tells the cop that this is the wife of the police commissioner of Port Charles. Felicia scolds Lucy not to bring Mac into this. Lucy asks if they get a phone call each, and the cop says they. Lucy knows who to call. At Anna's, Dante asks Anna what the plan is. Anna says they need to make the enemy believe they can get to her anywhere, even her home. The doorbell rings and she answers it. Mac stands there and asks if she's heard from Felicia. She invites him in, and Mac says Felicia left town on a case involving Martin. Anna says Lucy is out of town too, so that can't be good. Don takes off, and Mac tells Anna he can't shake the feeling Felicia is in trouble. Suddenly, Felicia calls Anna, so Anna puts her on speaker. Lucy tells Anna that she needs to call her friend Jackson Montgomery and ask him not to have them arrested. Anna says, call Wu between Pine Valley and Port Charles. Anna calls and speaks with Jackson, who steps out of his office. He asks Anna why her friend Lucy is pulling a scam on him, and if Felicia is really the wife of the police commissioner. Anna confirms she is and asks for the details. Meanwhile, Felicia and Lucy speak with Mac, and Lucy says she blew things when she brought up Martin's hummingbird cake recipe, which Jackson recognized. As the separate conversations progress, Jackson confirms he was involved in Martin's contentious divorce case, and his ex-wife was threatening to sell the family hummingbird cake to Little Debbie to get what she wanted. Anna tries to convince Jackson that Lucy and Felicia were only out for information on Martin. Anna explains Lucy is dating him and just a lover's quarrel, and clearly she's no criminal mastermind. She asks Jackson if he could drop the charges as she'd be in his debt. Meanwhile, Mac speaks with Felicia, and she says she never meant to involve him in this. She asks how angry he is. He just wants her home safe. Jackson returns and agrees to drop the charges against Lucy and Felicia. He tells them good night and sees them out. In the hall, Lucy asks Felicia if she found anything useful. Felicia knows who is behind the Shell Corporation depositing the money into Martin's account. Lucy is stunned to learn Martin is receiving alimony from his horrified third ex-wife. Meanwhile, Jackson makes a call to someone and says Lucy Coe and a private investigator were snooping around and asking questions about Martin and McQuillage. Alexis turns up at Dante and Sam's looking for Christina, but Sam hasn't seen her. Alexis needs her help and fills her in on Molly and Christina's fight at the hospital. Sam checks her phone and has no messages from either of them, and Molly's silenced her texts. She messages Christina to check on her. Sam wonders if Molly is really that upset about Christina's offer. Alexis only knows Molly is upset about her fertility issues. Dante arrives home and Alexis decides to take a walk. Dante asks Sam how her day was. Sam says it was busy, and it's time she tells him what she's been up to. Sam fills him in on Gladys and Cody's relationship, which involves Ms. Wu, who somehow helped Cody out with the grand larceny charges. She also knows the police are surveying the Savoy and Selena's poker games, as Mac told her. Dent says if there is a poker game, Cody would sniff that out, and that's likely how he got beat up last fall. Sam thinks that Mac isn't taking down Selena yet to protect Cody, and she believes Mac really was disappointed to learn he wasn't Cody's dad. She wonders if she should warn Cody about what's going on before he's arrested. In the plaza, Gregory wants to talk about how Tracy meddled in his son's life. Tracy rambles on and refuses to apologize. He asks her to stop talking so he can thank her. He is glad she did what she did to give Chase a second chance, but Tracy knows Chase isn't happy. Gregory says Chase has always been a rule follower. Tracy wonders why he's with Brooke Lynn, as the Quartermain family motto is rules don't apply to them. Gregory believes Chase has finally found the right woman to bend the rules for. Eventually, their pleasant conversation leads to yelling when Gregory tries to offer her advice about Ned. She yells he's no one to give parenting advice when she knows Finn didn't speak to him for years. Gregory says he doesn't know why he tried and will leave her to her self-righteous self. Gregory drops his keys and fumbles to get them as a seizure hits. As Tracy laughs at him being unable to even make a proper exit, Alexis appears and tells Gregory that she's got him. Tracy asks what is going on, and Alexis says she's helping a friend as nobody should have to face her alone in this state. Tracy asks, "What state?" Alexis tells Gregory they should go. They walk off, and Tracy says, "What nerve?" Gregory finds a bench and decides to sit until his spasm is gone, and assures Alexis he'll be okay. Alexis asks to join him given it's a lovely night, and he says he'd like that. She takes his hand and holds it. Tracy returns home and learns from Cody, Olivia, and Brooke Lynn that Ned was there and they let him go. Olivia says they can't keep him prisoner. Olivia walks out, as does Cody, and Brooke Lynn tells her gran she's not spying anymore for her. Tracy says then she'll tell Chase she committed corporate espionage. Brooke Lynn says she can't take her down without taking herself down, so find another way to get info on deception. Brooke Lynn walks out, and Tracy says, Good thing I have one.